Hello and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. My name is Tom Connors and today I'm going to give you my blue review of Shin Godzilla. Since 1954, Godzilla has arguably been Japan's largest export in both size and grandeur. Born out of a Japanese film genre called Hibakushu, the original 1954 film called Gojira, directed by Ishiro Honda, has spawned 30 films now and numerous other spin-offs, animated shows, toys, and more. Stephen D. Sullivan, comic book writer and author, had this to say in his book, The Kaiju Attack. Godzilla, both the character and the film, are reflections on Japanese experience at the end of World War II. Destruction beyond imagining and lurking sense that we brought this on ourselves, somehow, even without meaning to. In the film, we see both the guilt, the feeling, and the punishment perhaps outweighs the sin, and the striving for redemption, all of which are typical for such stories. In some ways, there's similar arcs in the origin of Spider-Man: radioactive accidental origin, great power used without regard for consequence, personal profit for Spidey, punishment out of proportion, the death of Uncle Ben, and the eventual redemption as a hero. The original 1954 to 75 movies fit in what's known as the Showa period, followed by the Heisei period of 1984 to 1995, and the Millennium films of 1999 to 2004. And of course there is the two American remakes. So how do you take a franchise that's over 60 years old, 30 films deep, and still make it fresh? This is how. With Shin Godzilla, they found a way to evolve not only Godzilla himself, but the genre. The world is full of realism, but the charm and homages are all here from the classic Godzilla films. This, of course, is a full-on reboot. The film takes us through Godzilla's evolution as we get to witness the creature's destruction like a fly on the wall. There is no true protagonist outside of Godzilla, as we're taken through several disputes, debates, and plans to take down the huge beast. The way the film is shot is a special effect in and of itself, as we are whisked through the film at a breakneck pace despite it being a completely abnormal narrative, and events would normally feel boring or tedious if they had been handled any other way. At its heart, it is a remake of the original film, as I said, but also it's a very good example of how you can take a very simple and classic story and make it feel new and different while keeping so much from the original film, right down to the music, sound effects, and even the design in some ways. I know this isn't turning out to be your conventional review, but it's fitting considering the film itself is non-conventional. The special effects are great, but do vary from time to time, but for the most part are seamless, and in fact look better than anything in the American 2014 film. And that's really the only way you can compare this to that film though. I enjoy the last film from Legendary and Warner Brothers. This is like a true official named brand Godzilla film though. The film was a huge success in its native Japan and had a modestly successful limited US release under the name Godzilla Resurgence. The film also is the Best Picture and Director winner at the 40th Japanese Academy Awards. For all the universal praise the film gets though, I cannot stress enough that this is not your average film, let alone Godzilla feature. Without taking anything away from the film, it does have a lot more like a found footage or documentary feel. But it helps in this case, where in a lot of other instances, the gimmick just falls flat. Older Godzilla fans will appreciate the depth and homages along with the fresh take, and newcomers will be entertained as well. Shin Godzilla just recently hit home video here in the US. And unfortunately, the Blu-ray leaves a little bit to be desired. None of the special features from the foreign versions have made their way here. Instead, the only so-called special feature we get is Godzilla vs. the Nerds, a 33-minute roundtable discussion with comic book artist Mark Franca and others from Funimation Company, where they share their thoughts and insights on the production. It's very fluffy though, and feels like something that would have been on YouTube to promote the film. The movie itself looks great, though some have not been happy with how the titles and subtitles have been translated in this version in comparison to the Japanese and theatrical versions. Thankfully, the quality of the picture is wonderful, though. There is no 4K version available stateside as of right now for those ultra high def fans, but we do get a simple Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo in a black case, which is nice against the red background of the cover art. But speaking of the cover art, something that makes absolutely no sense is this, a reverse printing on the cover of the art slip that you would never even knew existed because you can't see anything through the solid black case, of course. So, Funimation, who released the film in the United States, decided to waste money and time on printing a two-sided slip for the cover, but gave us nothing for the special features at all. The movie is presented in both English and Japanese 3.1 sound, which is kinda odd, and not exactly the most compelling mix for a huge film such as this. Why the surround speakers weren't used is beyond me, and a huge missed opportunity for what is otherwise a very amazing technical feat. Despite the sound mix, the music and voices sound nice in both versions, though some have said that they prefer the Japanese subtitled version over the dubbed American translation, which is usually the case. Personally, I found the English version not nearly as distracting as it usually is with past horrible dubs from your average Godzilla film. If I ever get a chance to get my hands on the foreign release of the movie, I will definitely do a comparison. But for now, I can only review the Funimation release. The film itself is a grand vision and a spectacle, garnering an 8 out of 10 stars without hesitation. Unfortunately, the Blu-ray doesn't fare nearly as well. Considering what little we are given besides the film, it's tough to give the disc a very high rating. Without any deduction for the 3.1 mixes, since they were obviously the filmmaker's choice, the best I can offer this release is a 6 out of 10 stars, putting it just barely above average. But mainly just for the reason that it's finally available here, and the transfer of the film itself is very well done. But frankly, the lack of special features here, I mean, come on, there is absolutely no excuse. This film was a huge hit. Not only that, Toho is always seeming to treat their fans like shit by not giving them anything on disc. Going back through all the classic Godzilla films, you're hard-pressed to find any special features outside of maybe trailer and, if you're lucky, a making of or behind-the-scenes footage, which is extremely rare. Though the lack of features and title issues do hurt the score a little bit, but at the same time, I'm still stretching it to give the 6 that it has gotten. Just the same though, don't let that deter you. The movie is very much worth picking up, even for a casual Godzilla or Kaiju fan. Be sure to keep your eye out for the special Shin Godzilla roundtable spoiler talk coming soon. The link will be posted down below when it's available. So if you don't want to miss that though, please subscribe and hit that little bell icon to make sure you get notified when new videos are loaded up here on Midnight's Edge After Dark. And also don't forget to check us out on Patreon for great exclusive content and a whole lot more.
If you like this video, then please hit that subscribe button. Due to recent changes made by YouTube, we also encourage all of our subscribers, both new and old, to please hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button as well, so you will be notified when new videos are uploaded. Be sure to check back for news and analysis of the happenings and corporate politics behind the scenes of your favorite genre movies, as well as explorations of your favorite characters and their backgrounds and context here at Midnight's Edge After Dark.